In previous lectures, we have discussed about the resistive inductive series circuit. Today we will discuss about the resistive capacitive series circuit. Now before proceed further, let's see the pure resistive and pure capacitive circuit behaviors. We have already discussed it earlier. So here is the comparison between a purely resistive circuit and a purely capacitive circuit. In the resistive circuit, there is a resistance R, the alternating voltage is applied V, and the alternating current is flowing is I. And here also in the capacitive circuit, the capacitance is C, the voltage is V, and the current is I. We have already seen that when we apply the instantaneous voltage across the resistive circuit as Vmax sin omega t, then corresponding current will flow in the circuit will be Imax sin omega t. On the other hand, in a purely capacitive circuit, if the voltage applied is Vmax sin omega t, then corresponding current will be Imax sin omega t plus 90 degree. The relations between the voltage and current for a resistive circuit, that is Vmax upon Imax, or we can say Vrms upon Irms, it is considered as the resistance of the circuit according to the Ohm's law. On the other hand, in the capacitive circuit, Vmax upon Imax or Vrms upon Irms is the capacitive reactance Xc. The resistance can be found out by using the formula R is equal to rho L upon A, where rho is the resistivity, L is the length of the material, and A is the cross-section area of the material. That we have already discussed in earlier classes. The capacitive reactance is represented by the relation Xc equal to 1 upon omega c or Xc equal to 1 upon 2 pi Fc, where F is the frequency in Hertz, C is the capacitance in Farad, so Xc will be in ohms. So the unit of the resistance is ohms, and similarly the unit of the Xc is also ohms. Where omega is the angular velocity. So we can find the value of Xc by using either 1 upon omega c, or we can use either 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Next is the phasor diagram of the voltage and current. For a purely resistive circuit, we have seen that the voltage and currents are in phase. Therefore, their phase difference phi is 0 degree. On the other hand, the current in a purely capacitive circuit is leading the voltage by 90 degree. That we have mentioned in the instantaneous values also. Current is Imax sin omega t plus 90 degree. Therefore, the current here will lead the voltage by 90 degree. So, the phase difference between voltage and current is here 90 degree. We have already know the power factor. So, for a purely resistive circuit, as the angle between voltage and current phi is 0 degree, therefore, for a purely resistive circuit, the power factor equal to 1. Whereas, for a purely capacitive circuit, the phase angle between voltage and current is 90 degree, therefore, the power factor will be 0. And the active power in a purely resistive circuit, P, is the product of RMS voltage and RMS current. On the other hand, for a purely capacitive circuit, the active power is equal to 0. So this is the concept of a purely resistive circuit and a purely capacitive circuit. Now let's see the RC series circuit. In RC series circuit, a resistance and a capacitance are connected in series. Voltage applied here is V, that is the RMS value, and the current flowing through the circuit is I, it is also the RMS current. Now when the current is flowing through the elements, as it is a series circuit, then the current will be same for both the elements. And when the current is flowing through some element, there will be a voltage drop. So the voltage drop across the resistor VR will be I into R, and the voltage drop across the capacitor VC is I into XC. Now draw the phasor diagram of the voltage and current for this circuit. Initially we will take the current as the reference because here the current is common for both the elements. So during phasor diagram we take current as a reference. So here it is the phasor of the current, that is I. This is the reference line. We have seen that for a resistive circuit, the voltage and current are in phase. Therefore, the voltage drop across the resistor, that is VR, it will also be in phase with the current, so it is VR. And for a purely capacitive circuit, we have seen that current leads the voltage by 90 degree. So we can say the voltage lags the current by 90 degree. Therefore, the voltage drop across the capacitor VC is I into XC. It will lag the current by 90 degree. So here it will be VC. If we apply the KVL in this loop, where V is the supply voltage, VR and VC are the voltage drop across the elements. So according to the Kirchhoff's voltage law, sum of all the voltage drops should be equal to the voltage source. Therefore, VR plus VC will give us the total voltage. But here we cannot add VR and VC directly. Therefore, we have to find their resultant value. So from the phasor diagram, the resultant voltage will be here, where V is the supply voltage and I is the circuit current. Here we can see that the voltage and current makes an angle, and this angle is represented by phi, that is the phase angle. So now from this phasor diagram we can write V is equal to square root of VR square plus VC square, or it can be written as IR whole square plus I into XC whole square. Now take I as common and it will be outside the square root, so it will be I, and there will be R square plus XC square. So this is the value of V. It is also written as V is equal to I into Z, where Z is called the impedance of the RC circuit, and in this case the Z is equal to square root of R square plus XC square. So this is the impedance of the circuit, impedance of the RC circuit. Now from this relation we can write Z is equal to V upon I. From this relation we can write Z equal to V upon I. It is V RMS upon I RMS. Multiply numerator and denominator by root 2. So it can be also written as V max upon I max. So for a resistive capacitive series circuit, voltage upon current gives us the impedance, and here the impedance is square root of R square plus X square. Now draw the phasor diagram again by taking voltage as a reference. As we have seen that the voltage is lagging the current by angle of phi. So if we make the voltage as the reference, then the current will lead the voltage by phi angle. So here I draw the phasor diagram again. So it will be V and current will be in the first quadrant, and it will lead the voltage by an angle of phi. That we have seen from this phasor diagram, what we have drawn initially. If V is in reference line, then I will be in the leading position. So here I have drawn that. Now write the expression of the instantaneous voltage and current. Take voltage as the reference. So it can be written as V equal to V max sine omega t. Therefore, the current expression can be written as I max sine omega t plus phi. That means for a resistive capacitive circuit, the current will lead the voltage by an angle of phi. Where the phi can be also calculated from this original phasor diagram. If I write tan phi, then it will be Vc upon Vr. So the phi can be represented as tan inverse Vc upon Vr, or it can be written as tan inverse I into Xc upon I into R. So finally phi can be written as tan inverse Xc upon R. So this is the phase angle of a resistive capacitive series circuit. This is the phase angle. And here the relations between Vmax and Imax that we have already mentioned, that is Z. So we can further write here Z is equal to Vmax upon Imax. So this is the relations of the voltage and current, impedance and their phase angle. Now the power equations. As we know that the instantaneous power can be calculated by multiplying the instantaneous voltage and instantaneous current. In a RC series circuit, we have seen the voltage is Vmax sin omega t. So the current will be I max sin omega t plus phi. So here we can write Vmax into I max into sin omega t into sin omega t plus phi. Divide by 2 and multiply by 2. So it can be written as Vmax upon root 2 into I max upon root 2 and 2 sin A sin B means cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. So it will be cos A plus B. So cos 2 omega t plus phi plus cos A minus B. So it will be cos phi. So it is Vrms Irms cos 2 omega t plus phi plus Vrms Irms into cos phi. This is the expression of the instantaneous power. Now in the first term it is omega t, so depends upon time. Therefore over a complete cycle the average power will be here 0. On the other hand, this is Vrms Irms cos phi, where phi is tan inverse xc upon r, that we have discussed earlier, and it is a constant value. Therefore the average power for a RC series circuit will be Vi cos phi. This is the expression of the active power in a RC series circuit. You can see that this formula is exactly same that we have obtained in RL series circuit. Now the impedance triangle. If we see the original phasor diagram that we have drawn initially, the relations between voltages. So here we can see that this is VR, it is VC, and the resultant is V. So here if we rearrange these three voltages, then VC can be drawn here also. So VR, VC and V, these three voltages makes a triangle that we have shown here. So this is VR, it is VC, and the resultant is V, and the angle is phi. This triangle is called the voltage triangle, that is made by three voltages. As we know that VR is equal to I into R, VC is equal to I into XC, and V is equal to I into Z. So if we take the current common from all the parameters, then the nature of the triangle will also be same. So here it will be R, it will be XC, and here it will be Z, and this angle is phi. So the resistance, capacitive reactance and impedance makes a triangle, and this triangle is called the impedance triangle. The impedance triangle is also we have seen in RL series circuit. Now from this impedance triangle we can write cos phi is equal to R upon Z, that we can write from this triangle, and here the R can be written as Z cos phi. Similarly, the sin phi can be written as XC upon Z, and XC can be written as Z sin phi. These two relations are similar to the relations that we have obtained in RL series circuit, and these two relations are important for numerical calculations. So R can be calculated by using impedance into power factor, where XC can be calculated by multiplying impedance with the value of sin phi. The next topic is power and power factor. As in case of RL series circuit, we have seen that there are three types of powers, and it is also same for RC series circuit also. So the powers here are mentioned as active or real or true power. Second is the reactive power. Sometimes it is also called as wattless power. And the third is called the apparent power. So let's see the three types of powers. We have already seen that for a RC series circuit, if we take voltage as a reference in the phasor diagram, then the circuit current will lead the voltage by an angle of phi that we have seen earlier. Now here we can resolve the current into two components. One is the horizontal component. It can be written as I cos phi, and the other one is the vertical component, and it will be I sin phi. If we multiply the voltage, here the I cos phi is called the active component of the current. This is called the active current or active component of the current, and here it is called the reactive component or the reactive current of the circuit. Now if we multiply the voltage with the active component of the current, that is V into I cos phi, it is called as the active power P. We have also seen earlier. Its unit is mentioned in watt, kilowatt or in megawatt. The second power is if we multiply the voltage with the reactive component of the current, that is I sin phi, it will give us the reactive power. So it will be V into I sin phi. Its unit is volt ampere reactive or kilovolt ampere reactive or megavolt ampere reactive. And the third type of power is called the apparent power. It is the product of RMS voltage and RMS current. Unit is volt ampere, kilovolt ampere or megavolt ampere. This concept is exactly same as that of in RL series circuit that we have already discussed. Now here the relations between these three power can further be written as S is equal to square root of active power square plus reactive power square. So this is also the relations between these three powers. Now if we draw these three currents in the form of a triangle, so it will be I cos phi. Here the vertical part will be I sin phi and the resultant will be I. So it can be drawn as I cos phi. Here it will be I sin phi, and it is the RMS value of the current, that is I. This angle is phi. It is considered as a current triangle. Now if we multiply the each term by the voltage, that is Vi cos phi, here it is Vi sin phi, and here it is Vi then the nature of the triangle will be same. But Vi cos phi means it is the active power P. Vi sin phi is the reactive power, that is Q, and V into I is the apparent power, that is S. So again the relations between three power creates a triangle, and this is called the power triangle. Now the power factor. In RL series circuit we have already discussed about the power factor, but again in RC series circuit let's see the power factor. Here we have drawn the phasor diagram of the voltage and current, and we have seen that the current leads the voltage by the angle of phi. We also seen the power equations, that is the active power is VI cos phi. Remember one thing, the active power can also be represented by the formula I square R, and this formula is applicable for any type of circuit, whether it is RL series circuit or RC series circuit. Later we'll discuss about RLC series circuit as well as the parallel circuit. In all the cases this formula is applicable to find the active power. But now we are considering the active power as VI cos phi. The next is the reactive power. Q is equal to VI sin phi, and the apparent power is V into I. From this power, that is P and S, we can see that if we multiply cos phi value with the apparent power, then we will get the active power. That means the active power can be written as S into cos phi So this cos phi is basically indicates how much amount of power can be utilized in an electrical circuit. We have seen that the phi is represented by tan inverse XC upon R. Now here, if the value of R is equal to 0, then the phi will be equal to 90 degree, and as a result cos phi will be equal to 0. Therefore the power, that is VI cos phi, it will also be equal to 0, and if Xc is equal to 0 from this relation of phi, if Xc equal to 0, it means the phi will be equal to 0 degree, and as a result the cos phi value will be equal to 1. Therefore the active power will be VI cos phi, and it will be equal to V into I. So here the factor cos phi indicates how much amount of power can be utilized. Remember one thing, as the value of phi varies from 0 degree to 90 degree, therefore the cos phi value will be from 1 to 0. This is the limit of the power factor. So what is power factor? Power factor is basically defined as cosine of the angle between voltage and current. Here we have seen that the angle between voltage and current is phi. So its cos value will be considered as the power factor cos phi. Because in case of active power, we have to mention the cos phi value. It is VI cos phi. It is VI cos phi. The power factor can also be represented as the ratio of active power to the apparent power. that we can see from this relation. P is equal to Vi cos phi, where Vi equal to S. So cos phi can be written as P upon Vi, that is P upon S. And from the impedance triangle, we can write the power factor is also the ratio of resistance to impedance, that we have already seen earlier. Now remember one thing, when the value of R equal to 0, that means the phi equal to 90 degree, it corresponds to a phasor diagram between voltage and current. So here the angle between voltage and current will be 90 degree. So it indicates a purely capacitive circuit. And if the Xc is 0, that is the phi is equal to 0, it indicates the angle between voltage and current is 0. So it indicates a purely resistive circuit. Therefore, the power factor is defined as the ratio of active power to the apparent power, or it is the ratio of resistance to impedance, or it can be also written as cosine of the angle between voltage and current. The power factor range is from 0 to 1, or we can say from 1 to 0. The power factor indicates how much amount of power can be utilized in an electrical circuit. Thank you.